Hello, welcome to the Mindtrack.net game server, a server hosted and owned by M. Heller. Outside the Voyager build here, and yeah, a major revision just took place on the old Voyager. M. Heller was doing his hull detailing work, and he noticed that I'd screwed up the contour of the deflector dish, and did not realize that when I had masked the hull, I thought these blunt ends here were actually artifacts, so I trimmed them away so that the hull would kind of flow around the side here. And whoops, nope, those need to be there. This whole section here is an indention, and it's clearly visible if you know what you're looking for. Unfortunately, when I was looking at the 2D images, 2D doesn't translate to 3D very well, especially since I'm blind in one eye, so I have no 3D. I don't see in 3D. Period. So I have to comp for it in other ways, and one of those is visual indicators. And well, unfortunately, 2D drawings don't really give me those visual indicators. I have to see it in as it should be seen. And well, M pointed it out, and he told me where to look and how to view it. And sure enough, he was right on the money. So yeah. Anyways, he spent a considerable amount of time yesterday. I'm figuring probably close to 12 hours working on it, and he was pretty frustrated by the time I got online, and I can imagine he was, and it wasn't a good day for any of us, both on the server and off the server. Yeah, so I spent about 5 hours last night reworking it, and let me show you those real quick here. M imported a clean version, or a raw version of the hull, which is this thing right here, and all I did with it is I highlighted out the area that the deflector dish goes, and I highlighted out the area that the indentation was, and then I highlighted out the hull section that was going to have to marry to the original hull. Then I took it offline, I deleted the stone, I converted changed the colors, or inverted the colors, and then I used MC Edit, and I took this piece and I put it in here and merged it up as well as I could. Then I re-imported it actually, and this is what I got. And then I brought this back on the server, and this is really rough, and we went through and all this light green areas that I actually added hull to the ship too. Well, what happened is this looked really bad, so last night we did a lot more revision, and we got rid of all this so that it is now like that. So it's tucked up into the ship. It took a little bit of reworking, but we got it done. And then this morning, I think M worked on it for a good 4 or 5 hours. He mentioned that, redoing stuff, tweaking stuff, fixing things on it. And then he went ahead about an hour ago, and it's 5 p.m. here, so about 4:30 ish. M came through and he went ahead and mirrored the section on, and then cleaned up the hull and made sure everything looks really good on it. As you can see, it does look really good. I gotta say, that was a good catch on his part. I'm astonished that I didn't see it in the first place. But again, you know, these things they slip by me, and I'm not a hull person by any means, shape, or form. There's still a lot of work to be done. I mean, I'm sure we'll trim up some of this or clean up some of this as it goes along, but for the most part, yeah. Now, this is a uniquely difficult deflector. This is all based off of the version that was over on the Death Monkey Voyager build. So some people like it, some people don't. I don't know enough about the actual Voyager build to know whether or not it. To me, it looks great. I love it. I think it looks great for a ship. But some people who are really into Voyager, they have issues with it, and I don't know. You'd have to talk to them. Maybe they can make a better deflector. I don't know, but I'm not going to. At this point, it looks good enough to me. If I see a major flaw like M. Heller pointed out here, that's the only time I'll really go back and redo something, is when there's a major flaw, or like M. Heller had to do up here. But down here, this was not intentional. This was purely was lost during the process of cleaning the hull. And it was one of those things that when you're working with blocks and the nature of everything, sometimes subtle details like this get lost, especially if you're not really looking for them in the first place. But as you see, as I pull back, you can start to see the detail, but as I get closer, the detail, if it wasn't highlighted, would get washed away. It looked like just a bunch of extra blocks, kind of like noise, basically. It just looked like noise to me. So I cleaned what I thought was noise up, and it turned out to be a vital part of the hull. Whoops! Anyways, today I went through and I repositioned all of these so that they actually sort of well, you can't tell from this, but they match up a lot better now with the 3D image and the 2D images. Basically what happened is these are right below them instead of beside them. So I assume the pods ejected straight down. No, they eject out. So all I did was just move the doors up, you know, to the side of the pods rather than down below, and that put everything all in the line. So I also added in all this ribbing work here. We might reposition all this ribbing work. We're not married to it yet. Some drawings show this rib to be where it's at. Others show it to be here. Others show it to be here. So it's kind of it's really how we like it, and we can change it as we go. We're probably going to add more windows to it. Imheller, I think, has this in here for that purpose. He's going to try and match up windows, and unfortunately, when they draw the ships and they make the 3D models, they make them and they put windows on them where they think it looks good. That's it in a nutshell. It has no engineering stuff to it at all. It's just, hey, it looks good, let's put it there. And that's what they do. And unfortunately, when you go to make the 3D build itself, you run into problems like, hey, this window shouldn't be here. The D is a perfect example of that. There are windows over turbolifts. Same thing here is like they'll have two windows. You know, I ran into that problem with the Enterprise TOS and the Enterprise A, where there'd be windows that there was nothing behind them that you could possibly use. It was just they looked good on the model, so that's where they put them. And same thing with Voyager. When they drew out the plans for Voyager and they did the 3D model on her, they just put windows on her where they felt they looked the best. And then when they did the interior design, like the strategic design or the Sidonia plans, they tried to stay as close to the original as they could and, you know, make sense of it all in their own special way. And then we come into it and we're actually building the damn thing, and that's when we run into a lot of engineering issues. Like there's a window here, but there's no room on the other side for anything in there. You know, well, again, we're using blocks. We're not, you know, they're 1 meter thick blocks, so that takes up a lot of space and eats up a lot of room. And that has a major effect on it as well. But yeah, so we either move them forward or move them aft, move them up, move them down, or get rid of them completely to try and make them fit in there. But yeah, what I've learned about windows is you place them according to the internal design, not according to the external design. The external design is a marker, and you try to get as close to that as possible, but a lot of times you're not going to be able to. You're just simply not going to be able to. And it's a shame, but that's just the bitter truth of it, you know. But overall, I mean, looks really good. Of course, there's some more hull detail work. The hull has the two-tone pattern that goes through here. We haven't done that yet. That'll probably come later. But as you step back, you lose. Let me go ahead and go off that. You lose the blockiness of the ship, and you get the overall. If you just sit there and look at it, it looks like a rounded hull. It looks really good. You lose a lot of the blockiness in the secondary hull because it just sort of kind of blends in. You can still see it, but you don't see it as bad. And you get this. That's a very close emulation of the Voyager hull right there. It looks good. Granted, it's not perfect. It will never be perfect, but it is very close to, you know, better than anybody else has ever done. Honestly, frankly, purely, way better than anybody else has ever done. Imheller, with his hull detailing through here and working on this stuff and everything, has really, really set this build apart from others. I mean, granted, I was really frustrated when I came on today and saw all this. I was like beating my head against my keyboard, but I understand what's here. I know what's here. Just you know, you see? Now you see the pattern? Huh? Yep. It helps. Yeah, they really do. There are some subtle changes that we had to, of course, make with the ship. Again, those were in this area here. I think M did some tweaking up here to make it look a little bit better. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, check that out. He did. That looks really good. That looks really good. He also did the spine. Now, I didn't do any work with the spine on this. All I did was clean the hull and start, dropping basic markers down so that we could start the interior work. But if you look at this, he went through and he redid the whole spine on this thing. See, this is something that's going to have to be done if we ever redo the Probert build or decide to fix the Probert build up. The spine's going to have a lot of attention done to it. But look at that. That is just flows beautifully. These are the shuttles. These are MAD shuttles. He made them, and they're very nice shuttles, by the way. I don't know if I've showcased them before, but yeah, he did a really nice job on these. I don't know if they'll fit. I hope they'll fit, because we only have 14 on this door width, so... But, yeah, most of them should fit, the worker bees, all that stuff. But yeah, when you sit here and you look at the detail on the Voyager, especially on this exterior wing strut stuff, and on the sensor, it all comes together really, really nicely. Got our little airlock system in here. Again, there won't be any piston doors. There's simply not enough room to do pistons. I mean, if we incorporate mods, then I'll be able to do pistons because I won't need all the redstone wiring. We could use remote wiring for that. But for the most part, right now we're not going to worry about it. She is mirrored on the inside almost completely. There's still some decks below that I have to address, and pointed one out today. Yeah, it's like I mirrored it, and that's I think deck 13 or 14, I'm not sure, but yeah, I mirrored it, and I didn't audit it. I'll go back to it and audit it later, and later never came around, and him found it. Like, what's wrong with this deck? He goes, well, go look at the drawings, you'll figure it out. Well, I looked at the drawings, I was like, yeah, yep. I have an extra transporter that shouldn't be there. A big transporter that shouldn't be there. But yeah. Anyways, also explained that these are EVA activity pod hatches. So I'm glad we left a lot of room in here for that. I was really wondering about these, and he pointed them out for me, and that's cool because now we get to build an environmental suit system in here. Awesome. Gray areas are areas of the ship that are purely machine areas and don't necessarily denote any generalized access points to, but it's grayed them out and put a little door in them anyways because everything has to be accessible. What else did I want to run over real quick? Yeah. Oh yeah, did some of the prelim work on the Jeffries tubes. I also did this. I don't know, it might change this round if you. I just wanted, kind of a simplified approach. So I knew what it was and we could do it and stuff like that. So I just kind of mocked it up. It does look okay-ish. I'm not real happy with how up here look, but up here we can always, do it something else with. I'm moving the mouse so really fast. I apologize. It is what it is. It is what it is. And we do what we do, then we go home. Anyways, I'll fill in some of these areas in here like this and stuff. I'll put cotton in there and things like that. But what do we have here? SDS sensor machines. This is another area of the ship that's basically not accessible from any other point. So I just kind of made it accessible from these two Jeffries tubes. This is the lower part here. We might, I'm thinking we could turn these into like a tool locker. Just turn them into tool lockers, or use this space for machines or something. Because we got that night, we could. It really depends on what we want to do with it, or anything else. These are science labs. No, these are transporter rooms. I'll have to look at the drawings. These might all be transporter rooms. I'm pretty sure these are all transporter rooms. If they're all transporter rooms, then I gotta do some work on them, and probably redesign the lower part down here a little bit. I might shorten this by one deck, I don't know, or by one block, make it a 3-wide corridor instead of a 4-wide, and I might move these over one, just a bit. This crew quarters will be a little bit smaller, but I'll give me room for these machines here, and over here the same thing. This is a transporter room, so obviously even though the deck plans show crew quarters under it. We may or may not be able to do that, so I have to really review the plans and see what I can do and how I can fix this or address this issue. Or we may not even address it. We might just say screw it, it is what it is, and this will be the transporter mechanism room right here. That's probably what it will be. This will be the transporter control rooms right here, and then there won't be anything underneath of it. That'll work just fine. Problem solved. Moving on. Oh, I wanted to see if he's done any extra work on that. How do we get there? We're going to the bridge. This way. I have to put my slow fly on here. Oh, the bridge still looks pretty much Voyager-ish. The corridor through here is done. When you step down. I don't know what the plan is for the walls. These might just be temporary until we get our Mindtrek 3.0 pack up and running. Them's working on that with a couple of people right now, so with any luck that it'll be up and running. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but if M implements the things that he wants to implement, we're looking at a major upset for how things are done on Mindtrek. So it is a win-win situation. It's going to be more work for M Heller, obviously, but the rest of us are going to score big with it. Also, there have been a couple of minor changes to some of the rules and things like that. Just review the Academy area for information on that as well. But yeah, it's just a lot of inactive players, and they want to. I guess we want to keep a list of the active players and keep the ranks open for the people who are active and working to be active, as opposed to those who aren't active. You don't lose your rank; you just get temporarily moved to a non-active status, which basically means you're an ensign. But you come back on, and if you're active again, you get your rank back. That's my understanding of how it works. So, but yeah, it helps us keep a track of, because technically rank means you're active and you're building something, and not that it's like, oh my God, I'm a captain. It's not anything like that. That's just the name they give it. It's like, yes, I'm active and I'm participating on more than one build, you know. Or I'm active and I'd like to participate on more than one build. That's like an ensign, and you know, that kind of thing. So it just means, it just helps us track builders and who's actually building and not building. So we don't end up like 50 captains running around, nothing getting done. This of course is a transporter, and again, it probably the mechanism for it could be right here. I'll look at the plans again, but I could have it down here as well. I actually got one of these. I made 2 of these downstairs in the drive hall. I didn't need one of them. I mirrored it. Whoops. But that's going to be a pretty easy fix. I just got to go down there and do it. I haven't gotten down there yet. I just got done doing all the hull work, those lines in the hull and stuff. This is holodeck, and this is dead space in the build itself. It's just listed as blank. I'm going to use it for something. Probably battery backups for the holosuite or computer backups for the holosuite, something simple. We definitely have a new texture in mind for the interior of this. You know, right now it just looks like, hey, this is the Enterprise. But yeah, we have a new texture plan for this, so just keep that in mind. Boy, it gets dark in here fast, doesn't it? What else is here? Oops, what was that? Oh, that was a defect. Alright, astrophysics, that's going to be a fun build. I believe, yeah, we do. This is going to be, let me go ahead and get my, my thingy-majiggy here on. I believe she steps up onto the platform, so what'll happen is, I'm just right now, I'm just going to show that there's more than one, block below here so people can see it. Yeah, astrophysics. So. Look right there. Oh, derp. Okay. Yeah, fixed. Anyways, I did some more work down in the secondary hall here, and Em did a lot of work on the torpedo area, and because, like I said, that whole area had to be reconfigured. So, not reconfigured as so much as revamped. So, this is the turbolift repair area. I did steal Cole's batteries and stick them in here. I marked out where the rest of this machinery needs to be going and stuff like that. I had to reposition these because I was one off on these. I did some work on the hangar area too. What I'm thinking about doing is this technically comes out to there, but we can't do it because we need 14 wide through here. Absolutely need 14 wide. Yeah. I gotta make sure I stay on, keep everything kosher. I know this will probably become a wall. Well, I'm just marking it there just so that I know it is what it is. Anyway, so I think about putting a couple of pistons, you know, in here, and I might lip this out one more, but I don't know yet. By lipping out, I mean bring it out one more like so, and then put pistons on here, and they'd be hidden. Basically, what happened is when a ship's about ready to launch, these would retract, and ship would go out. If it needed to be for that ship, these would retract. Otherwise, they would stay out. They would stay in the out position, and you know, but that's just something I run by M. But what I did is I went ahead and put the walls up in here to kind of get a feel of how big of space we have. We still haven't done the interior detailing yet. Of course, that comes later. This was one of those diversions from the hull. We actually dropped this down so that we would have the room in here for the shuttles. Otherwise, it would be the shuttle. Literally, the bay itself, excuse me, is only 3 tall, and you can't fit shuttles in a 3 tall space. You simply can't do it. They don't fit, period. Anyways, little access points, stuff like that. This will all be machinery and other stuff. Phaser strips and phasers. Now these are all these are transporter relays. They are offset. That's the way it is on the drawings, and that is the way it is on the 3D model. Some models have them directly in line with each other, but others have them offset like this. We went with the offset because it works well for us, and it looks good, and it actually fits with the plans that we have. So with the overall plans we have. Anywho, let's keep going forward here. I added some doorways in here. Also did some more work down here. This is like a tank. This actually is a marker for a tubing. That goes. The reason room for it is there's a Jeffries tube right below us, and if the tubing is down there, we can't get past the Jeffries tube or get through it. So I had to bring it up one level over, and this is all incorporated space. I think wants to use it as an H2O storage tank. Down here will be fighter fuel storage, which I've already blocked off. This will be the fighter fuel storage pumps and all kinds of other stuff. And again, you can see these go straight up there. And I haven't done any of the machinery work for the bottom of this yet. I have to talk to M, because I think M has M or whoever, like the bomb or even iPanic, have a clearer idea of what this stuff is than I do. It's plasma something. But let me turn on the gamma bright again here. Anyways, this Jeffries tube, it doesn't really show that it has you can walk straight through it, but it is. You can see it just comes off of there, comes through here, and these go out to vents. So this is just to note that there's a tubing that goes here. And I just kind of covered up the roof with metal so we know there's a tank above us. There's not really, in the plants, this is just empty dead space, so why don't we use it for something? I also added these in on either side. We did have to shorten the landing gear again. Not here, but up front. Ooh. Oh, that's Mad. Hi, Mad. Mad. But yeah, we shortened up the landing gear up front just a bit, just so that we could incorporate the new hull design. Yeah, this area here is the area that needs to go bye-bye. So I mirrored it. What I did is I did this side, then I mirrored the hull, of course, and then I always come back through and I get rid of stuff that shouldn't be here. And this definitely does not need to be here. This is not part of the plans at all. But I'll knock it out, and I'll go ahead and revamp the area and get this deck here properly mirrored or properly set up. Again, this is an independent side from this side, so that's why they don't, they're not supposed to be mirrored. The hulls can be mirrored, and other stuff can be mirrored, but it is what it is. This is the fun part of shipbuilding. You get multiple things going on, and you get distracted, and they come back and like, what the hell was I thinking? This is a good example of that. So, but anyways, I'll get all this cleaned up off recording here and move on. I want to make sure. Yep. Earlier when we did some mirroring down below, this part of the deflector got kind of funky wonky on us, so I went ahead and rebuilt that. Did do anything else. Heller did everything else down here. I cleaned up the catwalks. I put in the pumpkin lighting. I think we did that a while back. I also put in the lifts. These are just, you know, equipment lifts or personal lifts. I also put in the little ladder areas here for it. And M down, those go to the line. Those not what we want. We want to go up, actually. This is deflectors. Yeah, we want to go up. There we go. M did a lot of revamping work in here. He had to move this around a little bit because it was too far forward, and of course with the new design, couldn't use it. I think he had to do some other stuff. No, this wasn't affected up here. But yeah, you can tell it looks a lot nicer through here, a lot cleaner. It not so much wasted space as before, where I was like, oh, this kind of seems like we got a lot of extra. Again, that was my mistake. M caught it, we fixed it, and hopefully it looks good. Well, anyways, I'm getting a call from my buddy, so I'm going to go ahead and end the recording now, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you again. Bye-bye.